I can store the data in a different ways to access it very quickly and to save the memory. So that is what I will call it as a different types of data structure. So can I consider this as a float? Yes, because you have two parts in this. You are also storing the decimal values. Pointer is a variable which holds the address of another variable. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the first session on data structures and file processing. Guys, this is going to be a very important subject in your second semester BCA. I'm Kaushik from the Vidyashram First Grade College. So guys, without wasting much of your time, let me get into the session and let me tell you what is that I have for all of you in this session. So in this session, I will be discussing what exactly the data structure is all about. Especially, I will call that as a definition of the data structure. Followed by, I will also discuss the different types of data structure. Mainly in today's session, I will be discussing what exactly primitive and non-primitive data structure. This is going to be the agenda for this session. Yes, without wasting much of your time again, let me get into the topic, what I have. The first topic that I have is all about data structure. So what is data structure? Before we understand what is data structure, let's understand what is data. My dear students, data in the sense it's a raw fact. Sir, can you please give me an example on what is raw facts? Imagination is very important. Imagine we are in the classroom and I'm taking the attendance for all of you and I will be marking present or absent against your name. Yes? That present or absent is what I will call it as a data that I'm trying to collect. Yes, it's a raw fact. Sir, my data will be only in the form of text? If you ask me, my dear students, no. The answer is no. Your data can be in the form of image, it can be in the form of audio, it can be in the form of video, it can be in any form. So that is what you need to remember. But when it comes to the concept of data, it's a raw fact. Before I start explaining what is data structure, you have understood what is data. But I have one more example for you. You just have to listen to me very carefully. Generally, we boys do this, okay? Most of the girls will also do this. I don't know how many of you will agree, but we proudly say that, imagine in a boys' room, generally we dump all the t-shirts in one place. Imagine in the first scenario, I have two scenarios. Let me speak about the first scenario now. Okay, in the first scenario, I have a pile of 100 shirts. I have dumped it in one particular place. If I ask you to pick up one particular shirt, you will have to search for it, right? So imagine you have a pile of shirt and you're trying to search for that particular shirt which I'm asking for you. That is the first scenario. In the second scenario, what I've done is I have neatly pressed the t-shirts and I have placed it in order. Okay, so this is the second scenario. In which scenario you will take more time to take out the shirt which I'm asking for, and in which scenario you are consuming more space. So obviously it is scenario number one. Yes or no? Yes, because I'm not storing it in an organized manner. That's why it is very difficult for me to access it very quickly. And the second thing is it is dumped it in a vague manner, and that's why it is taking or it is consuming more space. The same thing will happen with the data. If I don't store the data in a particular manner, it is very difficult for me to access it very quickly and it consumes more space. To solve this problem, I have the concept called data structure. This concept will help me to organize or to store the data in an efficient manner, to access it very quickly and to manage the memory. That is what I will call it as a data structure. So guys, I can store the data in a different ways to access it very quickly and to save the memory. So that is what I will call it as a different types of data structure. So that is what I'm going to discuss now with this diagram. So when it comes to the concept of different types of data structure, mainly it gets divided into two categories. The first category that I have here is primitive data structure. Whenever I say the word primitive, you need to understand one thing. In this primitive data structure, I will be able to store only one data element. Sir, what is the meaning of one data element? Say, for example, I need to store 10. I will be able to store only 10. If that is the case, I will call that as a primitive data structure. But, sir, I want to store more than one item. Say, for example, 10, 20. Sir, what is that you're trying to explain? You're saying only 10 and only 20? So please listen. My concentration is, say for example, if I take a variable A. So here I will be able to store only one data item in this A. Suppose if I want to store more than one data item in this A, so it will become non-primitive data structure. That is what you need to understand. First thing, it should come to your mind, whenever I say primitive data structure, it can store only one data item is what you need to remember. That is the first thing that you need to understand. Yes. Moving forward to the next thing that you need to understand is all about, when it comes to the primitive data structure, we have four fundamental data structures. Is it data structures? We can also call it as a data structure. We can also call it as a data types. So fine. What is the first one that we have? The first one that we have is integer. All of you know what is the meaning of integer, and you have seen and you have used in the first semester. So let me just write the values, okay? So 10, 10.35 A, and then you have pointer values, okay? So pointer values I will write it later. So now, can you identify, so 10 belongs to which data structure or which data type? Yes, of course, if I write 10, that is an integer. So what is this 10.35? So can I consider this as a float? Yes, because you have two parts in this. You are also storing the decimal values. So what type of data when it comes to the A? Obviously, I will be treating this A as a character. All of you have used this. I don't have to speak much about this, but still, let me discuss this to give you the basic knowledge about this before I get into the complex things. And the next one that I have is pointers. What is pointers? My dear students, pointer is a variable which holds the address of another variable. I repeat, pointer is a variable which holds the address of another variable. So that is what you need to understand with respect to the pointers. Sir, we did not understood, sir. Yes, we have discussed this in the C programming language, right? Yes, let me give you an example for this. Guys, what exactly A is storing? A is storing some value, okay? So now, what I will create is, I will create a pointer variable. This is a normal variable of type int, and this is a pointer variable. In this normal variable of int, I can store only integer value. I can store only integer value. But in this pointer variable, I can store the address of this variable, where exactly it locates in the memory. That address, I can store it in this variable. That is what you need to remember. Sir, can't I store the address in this variable? No, that is what you need to remember, because only the pointer variables stores the address. Hope you understood this. So this is what you need to remember with respect to the pointers. Now, what did we discuss? We have a data structure. So we use the data structure to store the data in an organized manner, to access the data very quickly, and to manage the memory efficiently. So when it comes to the data structure, we have two different types. That is going to be the primitive data structure. Another one is a non-primitive data structure. Primitive in the sense, what is the first thing it comes to your mind? So you will be storing only one data item. That is what you need to remember. So under the primitive data structure, you will be using the fundamental data structures or the data types. That is going to be the integer, float, character, and the pointers. So this is all about the brief discussion about the primitive data structure. Now, it's very important that we need to discuss some of the points with respect to the non-primitive data structure. My dear students, as I told you, when it comes to the non-primitive data structure, it is very important that you need to remember I will be storing more than one data item in one variable. That's what you need to remember. So I will be able to store more than one data item in one variable. So that is what I will call it as a non-primitive data structure. Under this data structure, what are the different types of data structure that I will come across? So please listen. The first data structure that I have is arrays. Using the concept of arrays, I will be able to store multiple values in one variable. So in the same way, I have lists and finds. So this is the three major data structure will come under non-primitive data structure. So I will be discussing about each data structures in detail in the coming session. As of now, you just have to understand, so which are all the main data structures will come under the non-primitive data structure. So fine, then after that, the very important thing that you need to remember here is, so we have list. When it comes to the list, so remember we have two categories. One is linear list, another one is non-linear list. Sir, what is the meaning of linear list and non-linear list? Suppose if you are storing the data in this manner, say for example 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So this is an example for linear list. So what is the meaning of linear list? When it comes to the concept of linear list, you will be accessing the data sequentially, one after the other. So if you are storing or if you are accessing the data sequentially, then that I will call it as a linear list. Then I will call that as a linear list. Say for example, I want to access this 50. How do you access? First I have to come to this place, and then I have to come to this place, and then I have to come to this place, and then I should come to 50. So this is what I will call it as a linear, sequentially, one after the other. Okay, that is the meaning of linear list. Under this category, I have two data structures. That is going to be the stacks. Another one is queues. Sir, what is stacks and what is queues? I will be discussing this in detail in the coming session. As of now, you just have to understand, if I say stack, so you will be accessing the data elements one by one. If I say queue, you will be accessing the data elements one by one. So that is what you need to remember. But now, when it comes to the linear, is it linear? No. When it comes to the non-linear list, so please remember, you don't have to access the data sequentially. Then how do we access, sir? So remember, when it comes to the non-linear, so I will be using the concept called trees. I'll be using the concept called trees. That is what you need to remember. Here, it is not required to access the data sequentially. I will be representing my data in the hierarchical form. So that is what you need to remember here. Sir, why do I need hierarchical form when I have in a linear form? So my dear students, so hierarchical form will help you to access your data more quickly than the linear. That is a major thing that you need to notice here. So when it comes to the non-linear list, again I have graphs and trees. So this is going to be the different data structures that we have, especially with the two categories. That's going to be the primitive data structure and non-primitive data structure. So before you come to the next session, so please watch this again and again and understand the basic concepts before I move on to this topics in detail. I will be discussing each topic, whatever I have here, in detail, one by one in the next session. So guys, before that, I want all of you to go through this session completely. If you have learned something in this video, don't forget to click on the like button and share it with the needy people. Thank you very much. I wind up my session here. Have a great day.